Hi, everybody.
Hi, everybody.
Welcome to Tuesday night knit chat. Noelle is not here tonight, so we have a special co-host, and most of you know Natalie, and it's Natalie Sheldon from Remembrances Pottery. She is the maker behind these super cute mugs that you see Noelle and I with, and also a fantastic designer. She also supports the podcast by sharing a pattern for us to give away each month when we do the sock winner. So since Noelle is out of town still, I asked Natalie if she would jump in and fill the other side of the screen, and she said yes. So here she is. And there's lots of you in here already. So I know Sharon was the first one in here tonight from Australia, and starting the party a half an hour early, the tailgate party. And there's lots of people chatting. You're from all over. There's lots from Australia tonight. And I'm looking at what everybody's working on. Christine finished her L cowl. Christine, I have not finished mine yet. I'm working on it. And Julia's here. Hi, Julia. So many people.
People here.
So many people. Lots. So I should say that we are a multi-crafting but mostly knitting podcast. And we live in Southern Ontario. Natalie's in Sarnia as well. So we're about 20 minutes apart. And she's coming to you from her home. So
I'm reading comments at the same time. It's going to take me a minute to adjust.
Oh, goodness. Yeah. So it's always fun to introduce a new person into the podcast, and we talk about Natalie a lot, so we thought Natalie also joins us on quite a few Saturday mornings, either under the bridge or at the coffee shop. So yeah, and I've known Natalie how many years? A few years.
3?
I think the first time I met you was when I picked up a mug at your house that I had bought. Her hugs are sought after too. Her mugs are really hard to get your hands on, and I'm lucky enough to have a few now. So it's a nice little treat to have.
It must be at least 3 years because it was before the last time we went to Woodstock. That's
right. And it was before COVID. And that's
exactly
like easily 2 years ago now, right? So maybe we should start off with just a little bit of admin, because we have a few things to talk about there. We are in November, or no, we're not. We're in October. We're in October. So we have ended September, and with the end of September came the end of our Summer Hug Makealong, as well as another month of knitting socks. I'm going to wait for Noelle to come back, and we'll do that on the next one. Okay. So in case you were tuning in tonight thinking, did I win? Not yet. But we do have some prizes to give away tonight. So we'll, what is Julia saying? Kelly was wearing her honey gold love note and the lovely cornflower dress. Oh, yes. In Woodstock. You're right. Yes, I do remember that.
Good memory.
Really good memory. Wow.
I was probably wearing 18 layers of knits.
I think you were wearing a lot of layers of knits. And I think we ended up tailgating on the back of your truck too.
We did.
For lunch. Yes, it was really good. So anyway, that's what we're going to do with the prizes. So tune in for that next week. And we do have some prizes to give away tonight, but maybe we should start off by talking about what we're wearing. What are you wearing?
Do you want to go first, or do you want me to go first?
No, you go ahead. I've talked enough already.
I am wearing I always call it the wrong name. It's sock arms or sock sleeves? Sock arms. The body is Cozy Posy Yarn Co. in maple, and the sleeves are Lay Family Yarn Squiddle Village, her set of minis. And I love it so much.
It's fun. It's really fun.
It is super fun.
So is it meant to be used like with well, minis, I guess, but could you also use like the striping, like a self-striping yarn?
I think the pattern is self-striping yarn for the sleeves.
I think I have a photo.
Because her stripes are very thin compared to what I got with my minis. Oh, okay. Actually, I guess they're about the same.
Yeah, they are about the same.
Definitely in the project page, there's some with self-striping yarn.
Okay.
And there's also some in the project page where the body is striped and the sleeves are solid.
Oh, that wouldn't be able to be done with sock yarn, though. You'd have to use minis for that for sure. Or
yeah,
some leftover
definitely.
skeins.
Yeah, it was definitely minis and then like a solid arm.
Do you know approximately how many grams are used in each sleeve?
Well, these were 10-gram minis, and I have like a gram maybe left of each. So let me count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I have 11 minis. So 110 grams did both my sleeves.
Okay, good. Because that's what I was wondering. Like if somebody had that, like a full skein of sock yarn, could they?
And I was just about out of, because my cuff is the widest stripe. So I just added so you could definitely do 100 grams and then finish off with your body color.
I like that.
Yeah.
And you could do it completely scrappy too, though, right? Like that would be.
Yeah.
Yes. Okay. Oh, Christine's saying Natalie makes some more mugs.
Oh my goodness. I'm trying so hard.
Have you got other projects on the go too with your pottery? Or anything you can talk about that's not deep secret?
Well, like my Christmas update is being worked on. I say Christmas. It's not Christmas. It's like winter-ish. It'll be in November whenever I get it all ready. And I'm going to be testing out something that's like a themed box. And it's Brambly Hedge. Is that the name of the book? Yeah, it's called The Complete Brambly Hedge is the book that I have. It's a children's illustrated storybook.
Okay.
And it's full of, it's these mice, but their houses are like little hobbit holes, but they're massive and they're full of stuff. And so I'm like gleaning inspiration from there, and I'm going to make boxes that are like more than just a mug.
Nice.
So that's my current project. That's what I was working on before I made dinner.
Before dinner. What's dinner? I don't get dinner on Tuesday nights. I had some crackers and cheese and some ham from Sunday, but
I actually didn't have time to eat all my dinner. It's in the fridge.
Sometimes I eat later, and sometimes I'm like, no, I'm too late. It's too late when I'm done, so I skip it. But and I'm wearing the Cloud9 tee by Andrea Yetman, and I knit this in Barocco Chai, which is a linen blend. So it was not the most fun to knit with, but I really like the drape of the garment after. And the color is Tomatillo. And I thought it's pretty warm out right now. Like it's 20 degrees, or no, it's down to 16. Okay, so it's cooling off quickly, but in the house it's warm enough. And I thought, well, there's a few last days that I can still get in some short sleeve sweaters. So I thought I'd throw this on tonight. And I like wearing this. I usually wear it over dresses. It's sort of cropped. It's not very long. So I usually wear it over dresses, not usually over pants. And yeah, I really like it.
It's a good color too.
Yes, it is a good color. I really like the color. It was the color that sold me on it. They also had like this, you know, that kind of color. It's like that orangey red color that you'll see in the summertime, that like perfect shade of orangey red. They had that, but they didn't have enough skeins when I was shopping. So, and Marty says it's lovely in BC too. I know. And we head there on Saturday, and I'm hoping that the warm weather hangs out for a while. it would just be really nice, because every time I talk to Kendall or she sends pictures through of Miles, he's still in shorts. And I'm like, wow, that's, it was, what did you say it was today? 1 this morning?
This morning, 3 degrees
Here,
when I went to
3.
work. It was colder than that before I left for work.
Yeah. Hi, Marianne.
3 Celsius, in case anyone's American.
Yes, that's right. That's right. We're in Canada. It's 3 Celsius.
I don't want to be biking to work in 3 Fahrenheit.
No, absolutely not. Although sometimes you look like you're dressed for it because you wear every layer of knitwear you can get on. Yeah, absolutely. Okay. What should we do next? Do we want to talk okay, should we do the giveaway? Do we want to do a pattern giveaway start?
Sure.
Okay. So actually we should talk about your patterns first. How about that?
Okay.
That might be better.
And the thing is, the newest one is called Mini Mint. It's the children's version of last year's Merriment. And I don't even have a sample because I sent it for the model to wear for the photos. And she's keeping it. So I don't even have a sample to show.
Oh, I thought I put in a picture of it, but I guess I didn't. Sorry about that.
But I do have my sample of the Merriment, my second sample. That this isn't the one in the project page, because this is the second one. I knit this one for my son, actually. He's going to model it for me.
Very nice.
I don't know if he'll keep it because he's sensitive to wool, but we're going to test it. And if he doesn't want it, it will fit me.
The best. Absolutely the best.
Yeah. So it's a holiday pattern, but if you choose your colors not very holiday, then you can wear it year round. And then the new one is Mini Mint, the kids version of this, up to size 10. And this would start at like teen, extra small.
And you knit that using fingering weight yarns, right?
Yes.
Yes. So I know that Noelle has made it in the whole, the whole super soft. And I know that she made one of the children's sweaters, the Mini Mints, in Coast, which we thought was going to be too thin, and it worked up beautifully. So if you've got lots of colors of whole sitting around, or super soft, or even the Coast, then that's a really good option as well. Or it's a fantastic way to use up your scrappy little bits
definitely
that are left behind.
Because so in the children's version specifically, like 3 grams will get you a row because they're so tiny.
Right.
Even in this one, there's my biggest row, which is like right before the split for the yoke. I'm pretty sure this was less than 10 grams.
Really?
Yeah.
So then it's it's truly scrappy then. Yeah, it's really.
Now my first one, watch me make everything tumble down. My first one was all knit picks. So like I specifically picked yarns and like used them throughout. But then my second one is just leftovers there's some Mondim in there. There's some knit picks. There's just some other random.
Well, there were so many people. I was following your testing pictures that people were making. And some people were going like all out random colors. Mm-hmm. And then some people were setting it up like a theme color and just changing things slightly so that the sweater was more of not a monotone, but like one singular color theme and then just some highlights. And that was a good look too.
I haven't seen it up in the projects page yet, but I didn't check today. But one of the test knitters for the Mini Mint did it all in creams and lavenders and gray. So
oh my gosh.
Nice.
Oh, I'll be looking for that one. Yeah, absolutely.
And then I was like, I need to do one all in like all blues or I had thought of doing this one for my son in all black, white, gray, and then just like one pop of green or red.
Nice.
But
that would be good too.
He'll wear wild colors. So I figured.
Well, it's a nice, it doesn't scream Christmas. So
Right.
it's more of a winter theme that you could
Yeah.
wear all season. So
Yeah.
that's a good idea too. Really
And
nice.
especially if you like the only really obviously Christmas things, there's the candy cane in there. But if you did that in like gray and white or whatever
Non-candy cane
combination,
colors,
right?
then
Then
yes.
it's not. And then there's the snowflakes. And then even the poinsettias, if you do them in not a typical poinsettia color, it just
Mhm.
is a flower.
Yeah.
So yeah, depending on how you pick your colors, you could totally wear this year round. I wore it all year. Surprise.
Surprise. What was it you were talking about the other day? And what did you say your clothing style was?
Toddler granny.
Toddler granny. Yes. Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Okay, so in honor of the releasing of the new mini mint, Natalie has decided that we're going to do a giveaway for any one of her patterns, and I have to go start
Oh,
collecting the comments.
I guess if people aren't familiar with my other patterns, mostly I do socks. But now there's an adult sweater, a kid's sweater, and a stocking.
Yes,
And then the rest are all socks, colorwork socks.
your socks are beautiful, absolutely beautiful.
They are so fun. I started the Advent one today.
Did you?
Yeah. No, last night.
Oh, okay. All right, so I'm going to add this one to the stream. So the word, if you're interested to pick up one of Natalie's patterns on Natalie, the word is mini mint, just because it's a fun word to say. And it happens to be the name of her pattern. So you can start typing that in, and we'll let that go for a little bit, and then we'll do the draw. Can you tell us any details about this year's Advent sock or no?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay.
So it's going to be the same concept as the 2020 sock. Yes, because I didn't do one 2019. So you're going to have your heels, toes, and cuffs one day each, and then 9 colorwork sections. But the theme of this one, there isn't always a theme, but this year it is the Nutcracker. And it is so much fun to be putting together because, so other years I've kind of said what my inspiration was, but this year each section gets a quote directly from the book. So you know why that one is there, and it can maybe help you pick your colors.
Good. But is it still scrappy, or do we need to have a theme?
100% scrappy.
Okay. We like a scrappy project.
I love a scrappy project. Although, again, I think I am going to try one in just like charcoal and white to see what it looks like.
Good.
There's usually one person in the project page that has a very neutral palette for each of the projects. And I'm always like, oh, I have to try that. But when I'm actually doing it, I have no restraint. And I'm just like, throw it all in.
I'm funny that way about neutrals. I will see somebody else have made a project in neutrals, and I'm like, that's what I want. I am totally there for it. But yet, when I'm in a store looking at the yarn, the neutral is not what I'm picking. I always pick something that has a little bit more punch to it. But then I see somebody else's, and that's what I want.
Yeah.
So.
Well, and that was the problem I had the first time I did the Advent sock. I knit 3 pairs myself because I kept seeing other people's colors, and it would give me ideas of other colors to try. And then I had to stop going to look at the project page because I would have ended up with 12 pairs.
And the problem?
Well, there's other things to knit.
Well, there are other things, and there are limited hours in the day. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay, so we've still got some comments coming in. We're going to let it go about maybe another 10 seconds. And we count slower than Noelle, so you've got
100%.
You've got a solid 10. Yeah. I was chatting with her yesterday from her boat in Turkey. Or no, they're in Greece now. And I don't know if anybody saw on her Instagram feed yesterday, Ross had filmed a little clip, and he was narrating the clip. He's got a great voice. I said, we should get him to do some voiceovers for the podcast. But he was saying, oh, yes, we're at a little our little cafe in Greece, and Noelle is knitting. And what are you knitting, Noelle? And then he says, and the second project tonight, and then he pans down and he says, is to finish off this half-liter of wine before we go. That's a project I could get behind for sure. So
thank you, Kimberly. She said the Bridget's Garden socks are fabulous.
Yes, they are.
I think that was my first one. Yes, it was my first one.
I like the bees too. The bees are always.
I have to knit another pair of the bees.
Yes. Okay. Ross is a superstar, Marianne says. He is. She's lucky. He's a good yarn husband for sure. Okay, I'm going to pop in and I'm going to do the draw now. And hopefully it works. We have 132 entries. Here we go. I just like watching the names roll by.
Mm-hmm.
It's fun. Brenda Myers. Yay.
That name sounds familiar to me.
Okay, Brenda. If you can send us, oops, just a second. Let me remove that. If you can send in an email. Oh, too many things going on. Kelly, find it. An email to, there we go. Knits and Pieces podcast at gmail.com. And I will forward that to Natalie, and then she will be able to do one of two things. She can either gift you the pattern in Ravelry, or she can send it to you directly by email, whichever you prefer. So send that in.
I don't know if we said it's pattern of your choice, not necessarily just the mini mint.
That's right. Yes. And because we like to include the people that are not able to join us live, because I don't know, they might be sleeping or working or doing whatever they're doing in other time zones and not on our time zone. Natalie has graciously gifted a second pattern. So once this podcast is over, you can go in and to the comments down below and type in your hashtag mini mint again, and maybe have a look at the patterns and let us know what your favorite pattern would be to choose, and type that in. And then we will draw that next week and let you know who's won that next week on our regular knit chat. So, and that's not all. We're not done yet.
Nope. There's more. Not done yet.
There's more. and there's more. And there's more. If you are on Ravelry and you're interested in getting one of Natalie's patterns, this is her pattern code that she's offering, and you're running that through until when?
It's for a week, but I set it till end of day after next Tuesday. So they have all up until the next one, but end of day, our time zone.
Right. And the code
to be crystal clear, that's the 11th.
And the code will get them what?
25%
off.
And however many, it's not just like one pattern. If you have 3 in your cart, it should do 25% off everything.
Thank you very much. It's very kind.
You're welcome.
Very kind. So I'm going to leave that one up on the screen for a few minutes. And what am I moving on to? Do you want to talk about, have you finished anything since I saw you at the coffee shop on Saturday?
Since Saturday, no. But no. I don't think I showed you. I finished my Musselburgh hat, but I don't think I was wearing it Saturday. So it's scrappy because I'm doing it used to be the Monster Sock Cal. I think it's the Monster Musselburgh this year, but Musselburgh?
Yes.
Okay.
Gotta get the in the end.
With SM Karn and Circle Toes are the two hosts of the Cal. So the outside is all oranges and reds and fall colors, and then the other side is more autumn colors. But this is
that would be my side.
And my son tried it on because I was like, I wanted to know if this same size hat would fit everybody, so that I had them all try this one on so that if I wanted to make a gift hat, I'd know what size. And it fit everybody in my family.
It's like, remember
but
the movie, The Sisterhood of the Traveling Pants? It's like the traveling hat. It will fit everybody, every head.
and this color matched his outfit. So I was like, I'm going to send it home with him, aren't I? But I didn't.
But you didn't. You hung on
No.
to it.
And it does fit enough that I can, if it's very windy, I can roll up the rim. But I think the next one I will knit an extra inch because it's very close to the bottom of my ears when I roll it up. So I tend to not really.
Did you weigh it?
I weighed it before the decreases and it was already past 100 grams.
Okay. I was just curious. And then how many stitches did you cast on? Do you know?
Exactly what the pattern says for, oh my goodness, I don't remember. I don't.
Because I feel like I did.
Were there multiple choices?
There were multiple choices depending on the size. And I think I cast on 113, I think, or was it 130?
I want to say I'm at 144.
Okay, so maybe I was 130. And then I used a full skein, and it was the Knit Pick Static. And I think they're 100 grams. But I had lots. Like when I fold mine in half, it's a little bit like slouchy at the back, which I like. So
right. When it's folded in half, it is a bit slouchy. But to flip up, I wanted like a nice chunky thing that would cover my whole ear.
Yes.
And it doesn't.
Oh, okay.
Like then it's a beanie. I kind of want it slouchy and with the rim.
You want everything.
Well, because if my hair is all tucked up inside it,
yes,
it takes a lot of space.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah. I like the design because I tend to think I'm a person that does not look fantastic in hats. I think I have a pencil shaped head. Like it's long, it's skinny. So when I have a hat on that doesn't have a nice wide brim, I just feel like it exacerbates the situation and makes my face look longer and even more pencil-like. So if I get a wide brim, like around my ears, that kind of gives some width to my face. And that's where so I like a hat with a fat brim. That's what I'm getting at. Okay. Because I'm not a huge fan of the way I look in hats. Now, my daughter, she has the perfect shaped head for every kind of hat. She can wear every hat and she just looks amazing in them. I do not share that. She did not get that from me. Absolutely not.
My kids are like that.
Yeah. Some people, they just look good in. And others, those of us that don't look good, we just have to work at it. And we have to find the right hat. So Sarah said that she just went shopping. And you're in your Ravelry shop. Chloe's asking if I have seen Tori use Manhattan hat. No, but I'm marking it down. Thank you, Chloe. Because I'm always looking for a good hat for me. I really like making hats, and then I just make them and give them away because I don't like the way they look on me. Manhattan hat. Okay, I'm going to look that one up after. Did you finish anything else?
No, but I have a whip.
Okay.
Hold on. Kimberly just asked if I'll release an Advent sock this year. And yes, the answer is yes. If you go back after and watch the beginning, I talk about it a little. But did you finish anything?
No.
Oh, okay.
Do you know when you're going to release it?
I can tell you when I'd like to release it.
Okay.
Like to have it ready by November 1st, but it probably won't be till the middle of the month, middle of November. I'm not going to cut it. I used to hold it till like 3 or 4 days before December 1st. I'm not going to hold it that long this time so people can assemble their scraps, stash dive. The hipster hat. I don't know that I've seen that one either.
Where do you see? I'm not seeing that one. Maybe I'm behind in comments.
No, Nick. It's on my screen. It's third from the bottom.
Oh, yeah. From Pearl Soho. Hipster hat. Okay. I'll mark that one down too. Does it fit my criteria? Does it have a fat brim? See, I always think my image of the hipster hat is just that sort of like the rib that kind of disappears. So it's just like a single layer of a hat. Then it's got that big slouch going on at the back, which would look great on somebody like my daughter. But again, doesn't look great on me. So Lauren is asking if you are doing an advent set of ornaments.
Last year, though, did you do an advent? Okay, last year. Okay, kind of. Is the answer. I made one set of ornaments last year for Sue, who is Knit 24, and Legacy Fiber Arts. And the reason it was kind of a collaboration is because she died. Okay, so I made an advent stocking pattern to go with her advent calendar. So her set of ornaments was each section of the stocking. So I did do one that was related to our collaboration, but it was never for sale. That's actually my other whip right now is I'm making my third stocking. Last year was only available in the kit. This year, everybody can buy it. It's called Not on the Naughty List because it's huge. Like I'm not even to the ankle yet. There's like this much more to go. And then I'll turn. It's massive.
And is that, so did you do that in the sock size and the stocking size as well? Like
no, it was just a stocking. It was designed as per her specifications. Like she wanted a great big long giant leg and she wanted it to use like a good portion of the advent kit. And actually, if anybody here, because I know there's quite a few people here who also follow Sue, if you do happen to have that advent kit, it's enough. I knit the size 5 mini mint out of the leftovers from that kit.
Oh, wow. That is a lot of leftovers. Yeah.
My mini mint weighed 150 or 170 grams.
Nice. So there's some other big brim hat suggestions in here. The Downton Abbey is one. And Lynn says that's a free one. Or no, who said that? Oh, Lynn, yes, the Bridgerton. She said the Bridgerton hat, but then she came back and she said, no, it wasn't Bridgerton. It's the Downton Abbey. So, and she says it has a big brim. So maybe I'll go looking at that one too. And oh, Isabel's been shopping in your shop too.
I have to go look up the Downton Abbey one too. Oh, thanks. Thanks, Isabel.
Thanks. So I did not finish anything this week because I don't know why. I have no reason. I should have finished a few things. I'm really close on finishing things. And I got distracted. Mostly I got distracted by... Okay. So I went to Little Red Mitten. And Noelle had been under the bridge 2 weeks ago knitting on something that I couldn't believe she didn't buy me a skein because she's not here. So I'm going to throw her under the bus, right? I couldn't believe that she didn't buy me a skein of this because she knew I would love this. And the yarn is, so she was making a Sophie scarf out of a single skein. And it's the yarn called Atenia. So I went to Little Red Mitten with my sister-in-law who was visiting from BC to buy one skein of Atenia. And okay, I'll show you the yarn first, and then I'll tell you the story. So this is the one skein of Atenia that I went to buy. Look at that. Okay. Isn't that gorgeous?
That is your color.
Yes, it's definitely my color. I think this will make a beautiful Sophie scarf. And this is a brand new yarn concept by Katja. And the composition of this yarn is 42% virgin wool, 40% cotton, and 18% cashmere. And this thing... because she's not here, I can say it. It feels like butter. It feels like butter. It's so, so soft. So if there are people that have an aversion to mohair, not me, I love mohair, but some people say that mohair is slightly itchy and they just can't wear it. This you could wear. This is like so, so, so soft. I went for one skein and I left with a sweater that needed a little bit of assembly. So The colors are beautiful. And I bought a color that's very much a Noel color, but I saw it with something else. And then it was calling me across the yarn. Look at these two colors. Look.
They match what I'm wearing.
They do.
No wonder I liked that combination.
Yes. It's just the most luscious color of this rich cocoa brown with this beautiful shell pink. It's so beautiful. So I bought a sweater, and I have Jillian to not thank for this, because I was ready to leave the store with my lowly little purchase. And she's like, well, you know, it would be really pretty. What do you think you could make with it? Shame on you, Jillian. But anyway, I got so excited about it that I wanted to cast it on right away. So I still hadn't picked a sweater. I thought about a love note. We talked about doing a love note, but not putting the lace work in. And then I could put in the bands of brown where the lace work would be. And I thought that would be really nice, because then it would be sort of like kind of like the stripes pattern by Andrea Mowry, but not so many stripes. I was maybe thinking just put in 2 wide stripes of the brown. Thought about that. I found another pattern that maybe would work. And then Thursday night, I don't even know what I was doing. I was not knitting. I know I wasn't knitting. And then all of a sudden, I just had this thought. I don't know why. And I thought, oh my gosh, that color is designed to go with, I'm all tangled up, sorry, to go with dried plaster from Holst. Remember this, everybody? The dried plaster? Look at this. It's meant to be. It's showing a little bit awkward on the screen, but in truth, it's the perfect combo. So I started looking up sweaters in a hurry of what I could cast on. And I found one that I could cast on. And I will put up a picture here. Oh, I guess I should have removed that one too. We stopped talking about the muscle burrow a while ago. So
I didn't even notice.
This is the sweater, and it is called the J sweater by Rachel Brockman. So it just has just a tiny little bit of color work up at the top. And so what I'm doing with it, though, I'll show you. I didn't, so I'm making the sweater in the pink and the color work in the brown. Look at that. Multiple stitches. It's beautiful. It is
so nice.
Beautiful. Look at this. So I did I switched it up a little bit. I didn't do the contrast color for the neckline, and I did a tubular cast on for the neck. So my neck is a little looser than the pattern shows, but I'm okay with that too. But I just love the way this color work is coming out. And like, that's not even with blocking, and it already looks good. So yeah, I'm holding 1 strand of super soft with 1 strand of Atenia. And then for the brown, I'm holding 2 strands of the brown Atenia. And it's so light and so fluffy, and it worked up really quick. And I'm doing something else that I never do, because this has never worked out for me in the past. I am working from the inside and the outside. So these skeins are designed in sort of a unique way. They're kind of, I don't know if I have enough left on this one to show you, but when you take the ball band off of them, so they're kind of in a ball band like this. When you take the ball band off, they're just this loose cake, right? So I'm working from the inside and the outside of the brown at the same time. And I have this really expensive yarn butler. You got to see this yarn. Look at the yarn butler, the pledge can. Otherwise, I'd be too tangled up. So I just sat this on the floor on my pledge can. And so I'm pulling one from the inside, one from the outside. Never had a single tangle, not even one, until, and I told Natalie this story, but this was a sad, nearly tragic day in the O'Connor household. I had been telling my husband, he was asking, he's like, oh, how do you put the color work in that sweater? And I said, oh, like I do this. And I said, and I have it all set up here on the couch until I'm done the yoke. And I said, so I can basically slide in. So I had this sitting on one side of me, because I knit my color work using 2 hands. So this was coming up from my left side. I had the cone and the other pink on the right side of the floor. And I had the thing just sitting on the sweater, just sitting on the couch. So when I wanted to knit on it, I could just sort of slide into position and say, there I go. I'm ready to go. I heard him downstairs vacuuming. He does most of the vacuuming in the house. And I heard him vacuuming, and the vacuum stopped. A couple of minutes later, he goes, Cal, can you come down? I'm like, yeah. I was in the kitchen making dinner, and I go down. He says, I'm really sorry. This got caught in the vacuum. Yep, it got caught in the vacuum all right. It sucked up the brown, pulled it off my fancy yarn butler, pulled some stitches off my needles. There was a bit of fixing. It broke the brown yarn. I had to redo that. And he's like, I'm really sorry. I didn't mean. I said, I know you didn't mean to. So just stop talking. Just let it go. Just let it go. Let it go there. I will come back and fix it later. Not a problem. And I did. I fixed it. So I'm chugging along. I've got a few more inches of just the plain pink, and then I will split for the sleeves. I think it will be a really quick knit. And so this is thicker than a mohair too, because when I'm holding it with the super soft, the pattern was calling, I think, for 23 stitches, which is like a DK. And I'm actually getting 19 stitches. So almost like a worsted weight, but it's really light. So I don't think it's going to be too warm. So I ended up having to go down a couple of sweater sizes. I'm making the size small, I think. And then that will give me the bust measurement that I want. So, but the pattern is free if anybody's interested, the J sweater, and it's on Ravelry, and I'm really excited about it.
Is the brown one that you're doubling, is it labeled lace weight?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
It is. And I mean, the super soft is, it's considered a light fingering, but somehow when I'm putting the two together, there's a lot of loft in this.
Mm-hmm.
So, but again, I did get it at Little Red Mitten. I don't know if they're getting more of it in. I hope they are, because I bought the last of the pink, and Noelle had placed an order, and you can just guess that this is in her bag too. I picked her bag up, but I didn't peek, but I'm pretty sure it's in there. So there's no more of that color at Little Red Mitten, but I'm sure they're probably going to bring some more in, because I think it's going to be a really good seller, especially for those people that want that look of mohair. They actually classify this. When I looked it up online, they talk about it being, they use the word boucle, but there's no lumps like a boucle lump in it.
Mm-hmm.
I think they call it like an unspun boucle or something like that. It's just really like unbelievably soft. So,
well, and the cotton should help with people who have sensitivity too.
Absolutely. It just, Lynn says that is the best use of a pledge can she's ever seen. I agree. I hate dusting. I hate it. But it worked great as a yarn butler. So anyway, if you get your hands on this, I think there's about 7 or 8 colors, not a huge amount of colors, but it is like soft. So soft.
Can I answer Kathy's question? She just
Absolutely.
asked about tips on color work for socks. Skein Deer, Ellie of Skein Deer. I don't think she still does videos, but she used to. If you go back and look at her catalog, she gives great tips on color work. That's actually where I learned color work. And also knitography. Her name is
Patricia,
yes. She does classes, online classes. I think you can even just like buy it as a package and do it at your own pace. But her old YouTube videos, same thing. Like, she gives so many tips inside her videos. You'd have to, like, they're not usually labeled with what the technique is, but if you watch a few of them, there's a lot of tips buried inside. Those are the two I would recommend the most.
For people that have struggle with their tension, when you're working on something that's a smaller circumference, a lot of times the pattern will just tell you to go up to a larger size needle. And then sometimes that doesn't always give you the fabric that you want to achieve. So something else that you can do is you can flip the project inside out and knit it inside out. So you're actually knitting on the right side, but I can show you on this yoke. So for something like a yoke, I would never need to do that. But where I knit things inside out is like the thumbs when I'm doing like the Norwegian mittens. So when you're knitting inside out, like instead of, I don't know if I can show it this way. So instead of knitting across this way, all you do is you flip the project inside out like this, so that you're knitting it this way, so that you're carrying the yarn to the front. Or sorry, no, I'm saying that wrong. It's because I'm mirroring and I can't do it this way. So you're still knitting inside out, but your yarn is, no, I'm still saying it wrong. Am I? No, I am saying it right now. So you would, I can knit inside out. Truly, I can. It's just, it's such a big project. Yes. So you're knitting, but it really doesn't show that well. So that instead of this being inside, the inside of your project, this is going to be on the outside. I do have a tutorial for it, which is a whole lot less scatterbrained than that explanation. It's actually a pretty decent tutorial for knitting inside out color work. If you wanted to check that out, and I can put a tag in here for later too.
I do have one other tip for particularly socks. It works for everything, but so this is on waste yarn, so it'll be hard to show. But when you're knitting across your stitches, every time you switch colors, just give your right hand needle a little tug, and it will look like it's too loose, but it won't be. By the time you,
that's right.
Like you continue knitting and then you give it a tug, and then you continue knitting and you give it a tug. And every once in a while, just kind of massage everything into place and give it like,
oh, really? I haven't heard that one.
Stretch this way, stretch, like just kind of
okay.
shimmy it. And it sort of like pre-blocks it, so you can see, you can watch the, like if you're a tight knitter, you can kind of work out some of the tension before you finish. And if it's not coming out, then you can go back and fix it if you've gone too tight.
Yeah. Knitting the yokes of colorwork sweaters, it's hands down absolutely my favorite thing to do. I love, love, love it. I love looking at a chart. I love seeing the chart come to life. The yoke of a sweater is my favorite thing to make. I could just be content to just keep making yokes and have somebody else knit the bodies and the sleeves. So, but I love the yokes.
You know what you need to get then is one of those knitting machines that will do the body for you.
Yes, yes.
Just do the yoke,
yes.
Machine knit the body, and you'll be best of both worlds.
Yes. Yeah. Okay. Other things that I worked on this week, because there are more. I'm working on the Little Miles cardigan by Faina Goberstein. And
I did not realize that the pattern name was Miles.
Yes. Well, hence, and I'm making it for my grandson, obviously, whose name is also Miles. And I have only one element of the sweater left to do. So, there we go. Here's what I have done so far. It looks so much bigger on screen than it really is because it's teeny tiny. But hands down, my favorite part was like it has a pocket. It has a teeny tiny little pocket for his doodads, whatever a 1-year-old needs to carry. I mean, this thing, it's so cute, stitched into place, a little grandpa cardigan. It has a big cable across the back.
I love that cable on the back.
It has cables down the sleeves. I'm not turning it the right way. There we go, down the sleeves. And then a different cable pattern down each front. Ultimately, it's going to have this little shawl collar, which will create the button band. So that's what I have left to do. And I love that the pattern tells you to knit the sleeves extra long so that they're meant to be folded up like a little grandpa cardigan. It's okay. I'm not going to lie. This would not be what I would consider beginner friendly. There are 1, 2, 3, 4 charts for cables to go once you get up into the yoke of the sweater and you're going around. So definitely not what I would suggest as a first cardigan for anybody that wants to tackle cables. But and it's probably, I've probably put a lot more time into what a little 1-year-old sweater should be. But I love the outcome of it,
It's so
and I love
cute,
the
though.
color, and I just think it's a perfect little old man color. And it came out a little bit bigger. It does call for a DK, and I'm using the Barocco Vintage DK, which, by the way, is a super yarn, a workhorse yarn for anything that, especially something that you're giving to somebody that maybe doesn't understand or would take the care to be hand washing all of their knits. You can throw Barocco in the washing machine, and it really will not hurt it. And so it is a DK, but it's coming up bigger than the pattern. I didn't swatch because I figured it's a little boy sweater, and if it's a little bit big, that's okay too. But Heather's saying, why isn't the collar done? Ha ha. Well, because I got distracted by
the yoke.
by the yoke. And like, I wanted to finish that because I thought, well, maybe I will take it with me to work on. I don't know that I will, because then I'd have to pull some off the cone and make a little cake out of it. I don't know if I will. But anyway, I love this sweater. I will get it finished. We're heading out there on Saturday. I don't know if I'll finish it before Saturday, but his birthday's not until Thursday. It will be finished by the birthday. And I have these really cute little old man buttons that I got too at Elgin Knitworks when we were in Chicago. So it's a really pretty cute little sweater. So what else? Did you have anything else that you were working on this week?
I am working on a shawl. Let me pull out the pattern to get the name right. So it's 2 different shawl patterns that I'm merging. So originally it's the Primavera Italiana is the name of the shawl. So it's basically, or a wrap maybe. Yes, on the screen there. So it's a big rectangle. It has a lace trim at one end, embroidered flowers at the other end. I've been drooling over this pattern since before it even came out.
It's beautiful.
And if you go to her Instagram page, she's Andy Knits a lot on Instagram.
Okay.
And for her patterns, she has an illustrator make these drawings that are like, they make you want to knit the pattern. That's
okay.
How she gets me every time. So I wanted to knit that, but the other end that you can't see in that picture is a big chunky lace border. And like it's done all the way across, and lace and I do not get along. So I bought a different one of her patterns called the Jacaranda. I think that's how you say it. So I'm using the applied lace border from that pattern in place of, I was pointing at the screen like everybody could see what I was touching. So the leaves on the one end and that ruffle behind it will replace the big chunky section of lace.
Okay.
Where the flowers aren't. And I think the flowers and the leaves will work together beautifully anyways.
I think so.
But instead of knitting it all in one color, I am using a bunch of minis. They're botanically dyed. Unfortunately, this dyer doesn't dye anymore. It was Mars of Hey Brownberry. And I'm doing, so they're 20-gram minis. So I weighed out my first one and figured out how many rows I was getting. Mm-hmm. This section I'm also going to put flowers on. That's why I didn't get a stripe. And then I divided it in half to put the stripe in between each section. So they're each of these is almost 20 grams. And I'm just going to keep going as long as I have minis. I think I have 13 minis total.
Natalie's been working on this the last couple of Saturdays that we've been visiting. And this is one of those perfectly beautiful neutral palettes that I talk about, that when somebody else is working on it, I absolutely want it. And then I can't put the palette together. I don't know why.
Well, and that's the thing. I bought them. They were sets of 5 minis and I bought 3 sets. So the palette kind of put itself together. Like they've been living in a bag together since I bought them years ago. And then this is the applied leaf border. So I can do an applied lace border. I just can't do lace when it's straight across. I don't know why. Like the project ends up thrown across the room without fail. And the thing is, I'm not usually frustrated enough to do something like that, but lace is just my nemesis. So this is the lace border, the leaf lace border. And then I'm holding it upside down. It'll be this way. And then there'll be a ruffle back behind here. And my plan was to finish this for my birthday, which is in December. And I had worked out how many sections I had to do per week to get it done in time for my birthday. But I love a stockinette project. So it basically, I haven't done a single other thing since I picked this up.
Well, it's fun to work on because you can do all the other things and keep working on it at the same time, right? Like you really don't have to put a great thought process into it.
And that's the thing. So I have both ends I have needles on both ends. So I don't knit until the end of my day, which half the time I'm super tired and have no attention span left. So that's when I do the stockinette. But if I happen to have a little bit of attention span left, I thought I just dropped a whole needle out of it. Then the lace border is also on live needles. So I can do 1 leaf or 2 leaves before I get to the stockinette.
So that's an applied lace border then, is it?
Yes.
Because you're going back and forth. And
and it's on, I want to say it's like 9 stitches.
Okay.
And so far I've only made 1 mistake and I'm 7 or 8 leaves in. So
there you go.
To me, that's exciting.
It's really pretty. It's like I said, I've been admiring it at our morning visits on Saturday for sure. Like I said, I love those palettes. I just don't know why I can't put them together.
The interesting part will come when I go to embroider all the flowers on, because I'm is that enough? Is that enough? kind of person. She does have a guideline for where to put them, but come on. Cover half the shawl.
Caitlin Hunter came out with a new sweater a week or more ago that had some like free embroidery, freestyle embroidery. I love the sweater, but I'm worried that I would overthink the embroidery and I wouldn't, like hers just looks like the flowers just fell onto the sweater, right? And I think I would overthink the product placement of every single one of those flowers. I don't know that I could have a successful project. I wish I could, because I really like the sweater. I love the sweater. Is anybody else trying that?
I will 100% be overthinking my flowers, but
right.
I have allocated time for that.
I would want them to look like they just fell onto the shawl. And then I'm like, okay, does that look too preconceived? Does that one look like it's okay? I don't know.
You know what you should do? Just like grab a handful of paper flowers and throw them at your sweater and put them where they land.
Okay.
So that is pretty much between that, and I got as far as putting this onto waste yarn so I could block it, because I'm 3 months behind on my own cow. So this has to get done by the end of October. I want to have caught up to the end of October.
Good. Do you have anything, well, other than that you have to get caught up? Do you have anything that you're like dreaming of making or planning to make?
I definitely have planned knitting. I have the pattern right here. I need to make some, I should have sent you this link, but I need to make some of those for Christmas.
I made those years and years and years ago, I think.
That's the name of the pattern right there.
Reverse. Very nice.
Because I think, they have the star on this one, like Converse, right there. But I think I'm going to make them like the Vans that my kids wear.
Okay.
So it won't have the star.
Yep.
But I need to make 2 or 3 pairs of these by Christmas time.
Okay.
So that will be my other plan. And then there's the Advent socks. And I will probably, if I finish this, half of me now is like, I can finish this by Woodstock.
That's next weekend, isn't it?
Yes, it's not possible.
You have how many of them left?
Yeah, because I have more than I'm about halfway. And this has taken me a month at least. Yeah, it's not this weekend, it's the next weekend.
Well, I don't know. Is Noelle going to, or are you going to Woodstock with Noelle? I won't be here. I know I'm not going, but
I don't know.
She knit 7 rows for me in the car when we went to Kitchener.
Noelle's plans are still kind of in the air. So I might be driving down on the Friday night. I might be taking a class. I haven't booked it yet, but I saw on there, if anybody here is going to Woodstock and you want to take a class, you have to book them by Friday because they close the registration so that the teachers can prepare. So that's my public service announcement. There is one class I want to take. It's only 1 hour, and it's how to process flax into linen using like accessible tools rather than the antique tools. It sounds super exciting. It sounds right up my alley. And it's like, if you're thinking of growing flax to try and process linen, take this first. And I'm like, I've been thinking about that for 3 years, so maybe I should take this class.
So I'm thinking like flax is one of those yarns that's kind of like linen. It's really stiff to knit with, correct?
Flax is linen. Linen comes from flax.
Okay. So, but if it's hard to knit with, I can only imagine how hard it is, and it's even rawer.
Well, you have to break the shell coating kind of thing from the outside and then like brush it off. And then like, as you brush it, it gets softer and softer. And then you spin it into linen. I watch a lot of those like Edwardian Farm, Victorian Farm, Wartime Farm, those shows. And almost every time there's something like that. And I've been wanting to do it for years. So I figure if I just take the class, it might just get it out of my system. And then I won't plant a patch of flax in my yard.
I should mention that Natalie is the closest thing to a pioneer woman that we have in Sarnia. She's constantly, I don't know, doing what I think are really pioneer women things. And this year she became a beekeeper and she's constantly picking leaves and making tea out of things like that. And she's our version of the pioneer woman.
My mom always said I was born 100 years too late.
Yeah, you're an old soul. But
like I would have fit in perfectly in 1870. And
I'd be worried about the things like, okay, there's no deodorant at that time.
But on the
there's no lights. My eyes aren't great. How would I knit at night?
Well, and see, at camp, we don't have electricity. So like I've already passed all those hurdles. But on the plus side, I wouldn't have like a day job, right? If I was in the 1870s.
No, you would just have a job that never ends because your jobs never ended.
No, but I do that now and go to work in the daytime. So,
Sarah's asking how your bees are doing. I think the last time Sarah was knitting with us, you were talking about you had gone to, you had just picked up some antibiotics
treatments. Yeah, they got treated. I almost dropped the whole entire hive. It was a very exciting afternoon. And I got the smaller hive because I knew I wouldn't be able to lift the bigger hive. And the smaller hive was like the absolute capacity of what I can lift. So I'm so glad I didn't buy the big one. But over this winter.
Did you get stung at all in this?
Nope.
No.
Over the winter, my son is going to build me a horizontal hive with a hinged lid. So I never have to lift a hive again.
Okay.
But the bees themselves seem to be doing fine. It's jam-packed full. So
good.
Let's cross your fingers they make it through the winter.
All right. Beth just said that Sally Pointer has a channel. Do you know about her? She demonstrates
No.
processing and using flax in ancient ways.
I will look that up 100% for sure.
Yeah.
Sally Pointer. That sounds right up my alley.
And the only other thing that I worked on this week, and I think I was, take the needle out. I don't think I had this finished last week, and I still don't have it finished this week, but I was making the bits and pieces fingerless mittens, and I do have the hand finished now. I didn't put the thumb in yet. And this is using the Holst Super Soft in bleached white straw, and vintage heather is the blue. And I originally wanted to use these 3 colors. They kind of popped out to me that I really liked these colors, and I was going to do the yoke in a sweater with them. But then I realized that if I held 2 strands of them together, it was too thick, and the one strand wasn't enough. So I ordered some Titicaca in colors that will go with these, so that I can make, because that gives me 1 strand of this and 1 strand of Titicaca gives me the a perfect DK weight, and that's what I like for a sweater weight. So that's that. I think that's the only other thing that I worked on this week. Like I said, I should have been finishing things. I also have some sewing to do because, as I said, heading out on Saturday for Miles' birthday, and he has commissioned a little birthday outfit, a dinosaur outfit. Yes, and it's not done. So yes, there's probably a couple of late nights in my week before Saturday, but yeah.
Beth says Sally also processes nettle fiber, which I have also been super interested in since Grace of Babel's Traveling Yarns. She tried to ret some nettles and they went too far, so she didn't end up processing it. But I started looking into it then when she did it. I'd be curious to do nettle fiber.
I have some. Trailhead Yarns uses those types. They use flax, they use linen, they use nettle. And I even have a couple of skeins from Ancient Arts that is the nettle. Yeah.
I should keep a lookout in Woodstock, Paris.
Yeah, I feel like
yes.
there should be something there.
So I did say that. If anybody is taking classes at Woodstock, technically it's not Woodstock anymore, it's Paris. Or at least this year. Woolstock.
Woolstock.
Yeah.
Yes. Yeah.
How old is my son? I have a 19-year-old who turns 20 next week. What? That's just weird. And I have.
Is he getting a Merry Mint sweater?
No.
And
I have a 23-year-old. Oh, and so somebody asked if I got stung. Not the day that I had to move the hives, but my younger son came over and he was checking out the pumpkin patch because I told him he could take some for his balcony, but it's too early. They'll just come get him closer to the time. But the pumpkin patch is fairly close to the beehives, and he got stung by a yellow jacket, not one of the honeybees.
Ooh.
While he was like, "Oh, the beehive, I'll go look." And he started walking towards it, and a yellow jacket stung his ear. And he was like, "Oh, I don't like the bees." I'm like, "It wasn't mine."
And my bees are nice. They don't sting. Isabel said that she's knit 2 cardigans with that Ancient Arts fiber, the nettle. It's really soft. It's really soft. You know, I have 2 skeins of it. One is a solid and one is a variegated. It's called a DK, but I want to say it's a very light DK because I've tried 2 different projects with it, and it's just lighter. I have to find the perfect project for it. I had originally thought of making like Norwegian mittens with it, and I started it, and I found it was just a little on the light side for that. So I haven't found the perfect project for it yet, but I'm sure I will. It's really pretty. I like the colors a lot.
Ancient Arts is Canadian, yes?
I believe they are. Yes.
I think they're from
BC. Oh, okay.
Oh, okay. Out west.
Out west. Not Ontario. Not Ontario.
Yeah, but when I was at Kitchener a few years ago and Woodstock Fleece Festival, there was a lot of ancient arts then. So I might be able to find some.
Yeah, yeah. Sarah's saying
Maybe
Calgary. Okay. I wanted to talk about just some of the things that we have going on still. Are we done talking about knitting, or did you have anything else to show?
No, I'm not working on that many things at once.
Okay. I feel like I'm ready to do like a huge cast on, because I go through stages where I finish up a bunch of little things, and I'm really close to finishing a bunch of smaller things now. So I feel like I'm probably going to get those finished over the next little bit of traveling. And then I know I'm going to be ready to probably cast on like 3 sweaters, like bang, 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 because that's kind of how I roll. I shouldn't, but it's probably what I will do.
I probably won't cast on a sweater until I finish this, even though I have the pattern printed and the yarn caked up. But I'm telling it's very much the same. It'll be a stockinette project. So I'm telling myself, finish this first, then start the other one. Because otherwise I'll flip-flop back and forth and not get anywhere.
Okay. So the things that we have going, the first one is on Instagram, and it's called the KNP. It's hashtag KNP style your Sophie Cal. Somebody today, Marnie, actually posted her latest one. I think she's made 2 of them now. And there's a picture of her and her horse, and she's got one tied around the horse as well.
No.
Yes. So some people have put them around their dogs, some on their purses, lots of different ways. So show us how you style your Sophie. And we are running that until October the 11th. And the prize for that is this absolutely beautiful fall color of this rose gold by Coriander Knits. And it's yak and silk, 50% yak, 50% silk. This is what I knit my Sophie out of, and I love it. I love it. And Noelle bought this color as well, but it's just a gorgeous color. So we're running that until October the 11th, and then we're going to do a random draw from the Instagram entries only. So that's not on our Ravelry. So that's thing 1. Thing 2 is our year-long KNP 2022 socks. You can put the hashtag on Instagram, and the group is on Ravelry. It doesn't matter when you started the socks. We don't care when. It's just finish them, post them to the Ravelry group. Every month we draw 2 prizes. The first prize is for one of Natalie's patterns of your choosing. And then the second one is always a sock yarn prize. And we run that every month. And then we announce the winners on usually the podcast that's closest to the end of the month, but this time it's going to be next week because Noelle's away.
Did you see how many are in before you came on today?
I didn't look tonight, but I know that we have surpassed. Somebody will tell us. Somebody will check in and tell us here in a minute. I just wanted to talk about one last Makealong because our summer hug one wrapped up at the end of September. So October, November, and December, we are Holsting along. So that is using any Holst yarn in a project of your choosing. Whips are allowed going until the end of December, and then we're going to draw a prize. So we've got a couple of really good prizes. I think possibly some gift certificates for Holst that we're using for that. So there's so many options, and lots of you have bought Holst yarn, and the color choices. Oh, the color choices. And we haven't come across a project that we've made yet in Holst that we weren't happy with. It blooms beautifully. The colors are really heathered, and yeah.
2,247.
47 socks. Yes, absolutely.
Thanks,
and
Julia.
We still have 3 months to go. So,
and your goal was 2,200, wasn't it?
2022.
Oh, you did
for the year. We did it. Yeah, we did it. Well, we didn't do it. Everybody out there did it. Yeah, we didn't
do it.
You,
everybody watching.
Yes, absolutely. And maybe we'll make it to 3,000 before the end of the year. That's not unheard of. That's only 750 pairs.
I have about 3 or 4 I haven't put in yet.
Julia, there is a hashtag for the Holst. Let me go back in. KNP Holst along. You can show those off on Instagram. We like to follow the hashtags and see what everybody's making. Noelle does a lot of the commenting and whatnot on Ravelry, but I'm definitely more checking in more on Instagram than Ravelry. So, and apologies if I haven't gotten to your comment. I've been reading all of the comments from last week's podcast that we pre-recorded. Again, like I said, usually Noelle handles all of the commenting. So I've been trying to do Noelle duty, and I've fallen a little bit behind on it, but I've gotten some of them answered, but I have read them all, and we really appreciate everybody that leaves a comment for us. It's a fantastic community that we have here. There's a lot of really great people, generous people, good spirits, good people, and it's very encouraging to see how everybody holds everybody else up and is really rooting them on through a project. So the host, Cal, Sarah, goes along until the end of December. So, and we will.
Oh, till then. Okay. So that's a good long time.
3 months. Yeah.
To get a nice project done.
You can get a nice project done, or you can get some small projects done. I think Noelle was even talking about like you could do a strand of coast with a mohair, and you could get a Sophie in. So you could like double dip on that until October the 11th. Yeah. And Lauren, you're exactly right. Holst is having what they call their cleaning sale on right now. So they're selling off cones. So you can order from them directly, or there are Little Red Mitten in St. Thomas, which is our local yarn store. They sell a good selection of the Holst yarns, both on cones and in cakes. And in the West Coast store that I'm familiar with is Wet Coast Wools. And they have that there. Is any of the Holst superwash? Good question, Kimberly. I'm thinking not, because it is generally, I would say it's like a more rustic feeling yarn, but it does really soften up as you wash it or soak it. And then the softer one would be the Coast, which is it's 55 and 45, and I don't know which is which, but it's a wool and a cotton, so it's quite a bit softer. And then the softest of all of them is the Titicaca, which is 100% baby alpaca, and it is beyond soft. So for myself, I'm not so much of a rustic yarn person. So if I hold a strand of the super soft with either Titicaca or most recently this gorgeous yarn by Atenia, it's more than soft enough for me to wear directly on skin. So it does work up really well. Margaret is saying that the sock yarn is superwash, and that is one of the Holst yarns that neither I nor Noelle have ever knit with, but we're going to try it out for sure. So, okay. Julia. Okay. I'll put Julia's comment up on there. It's Highland is a sock yarn mixed by 80% superwash Highland wool and 20% nylon with machine washability. You can use a Cole program for the Highland sock, and it comes in 20 different colors. So, yeah. Okay. That's pretty much all I have. Want to say a huge thank you to Natalie for coming on, helping me out.
Thanks for having me.
Yes.
This is fun.
Yeah, it is. It's a lot of fun. Yeah. Let's get together and knit with a whole group of people. And it is a lot of fun.
I knit 0 stitches.
You knit 0. Well, oh yeah. Did I tell you were supposed to be knitting during this too? Yes.
And I had it here to do, and I did not.
I find there's no way
it's
that
hard
I can
enough
knit and
reading
talk
the comments and
yes. So, and big thank you to everybody for joining us. So we will be back next Tuesday. Noelle and I will be back. I'll be in BC, so I'll be coming to you from my daughter's house, and I have some knitty adventures planned in BC too. Surprise, big surprise. So I'll be filling you in on what I've been up to out there too. So I'm really looking forward to that. But so, yeah. That's all I've got.
Me too.
Okay. All right, everybody. Thank you so much. Have a great week.
Thanks for joining us.
Yes. And happy knitting.